What's up, guys? New hair, new background, new room, but still very out of breath and as pregnant as ever. So let's talk about it all while I get ready using some of my favorite beauty products from the month of September. Let's go. So maybe it's because so much else has been happening around me in the month of September that I haven't really changed up my beauty routine. Case in point, the foundation I'm using today is the Lorac Pro Soft Focus Longwear Foundation. This is such a good one, guys. I have a couple videos about this, really going more in depth as to why I love it so much. Basically, it's a thin, watery consistency, which I find makes it feel and look like a second skin sort of foundation. Very lightweight, also very hydrating, which I have really been liking, and a little bit goes a long way. But because I have so many repeat products, or will have so many repeat products in this video compared to last month's favorites or even just recent videos that I have uploaded here to the channel, I figured we could talk about some of the other things that have been going on lately. Like, let's talk about the hair first. So I got my extensions out. Baby's gonna be here in a little over a month, which is very exciting. And so in preparation for, maybe not wanting to spend as much time washing and drying the extensions that I had, it was quite a bit of hair that I actually had sewn into my head of hair, and it just took a very long time to maintain. So I knew I wanted to get a cut, but I also wanted to get some color put in or have something done to it so that it holds style and has a little bit of lift and texture to it. Because one of the main reasons why I get extensions is because my hair is naturally very fine. I guess I have a lot of it, but it is very fine and it falls very flat. So we did some highlights. I went to my same stylist who does my extensions. I uploaded a video last time I got my extensions put in. His name is David, and I will link to that video so you can kind of see his work. But he also does great color. And so we went sort of like he called it like a mushroom brown sort of shade with a combination of highlights that we did plus my natural hair color. We went a little bit cooler on the highlights, so it's like kind of frostier, like a little bit of a 90s vibe. And then he did a blunt, like shoulder length bob cut. And so far I've really been liking it. The highlights were a really great move, I think, for adding that texture. And between that and the weight that was removed with the long hair and then the trim that he gave me, it's really given me a lot of movement and flexibility, and boy has it shortened my dry time. See, I'm done with my foundation and I still have like a good amount of it left on the back of my hand. I love this stuff. Concealer, I'm going to use my Huda Beauty, the Overachiever Concealer, and mine is in the shade Coconut Flakes 10N. Oh, my shade in Lorac, by the way, is number 7 Light. Now let's talk about the new background. So I am actually in a totally different room because of the nursery went in our guest room and my office was in the other bedroom we had. This is supposed to be like, it's a spare like game room, media room, whatever sort of spare space that we hadn't really used for anything. But because of now that the nursery is in our guest room, we decided that it would be best to swap where my office was, which is a spare bedroom, put the guest room in there, and then move my office to this room. And it gives me so much more space. It kind of feels like a more of a work area and less like a bedroom. The light's really great. It's just a bigger space in general, so I'm not super cramped by my booth, which is actually, I used to sit in front of it when I filmed, and it's now over here to my right. And I think in general, I'm just gonna have a lot more space to film. Like I have a little section with my clothing rack where I can maybe do more clothing videos more easily rather than having to take down my camera setup and lights and move it somewhere else in my house to do clothing stuff. It just makes that kind of stuff to film a lot faster and easier, which again, I think will be the name of the game in a few months here. I also got, as you can probably see back there, new makeup storage. I originally, and for the longest time, 6-7 years, have had the IKEA Alex drawers, the classic, what I feel like are the original viral makeup storage furniture that people making beauty content or just people with really robust makeup collections have been using. And beyond, I painted my drawers like navy blue. I put fixtures on them. They were very beaten up. They were well loved, but it was time to find a better solution. And I was finding that all my stuff was kind of crammed in there. And it led to me not using a lot of stuff, especially the stuff that gets kind of stuck in the back of the drawer. The drawers didn't really pull open all the way. So if you stored anything, even if it was well organized, way in the back, it was as good as gone in my mind, because I just never saw it when I opened the drawers up. So I looked around on YouTube for like what other people are using. And it seems like this is the PAX system, closet system from IKEA. And it just seems like this was the best way to go, because the drawers pull out more, they're wider, they're deeper. I mean, depending on the dimensions of the closet system that you get. But it just seems like because you can customize the kinds of drawers you get, the space you have above the drawers, it's a little bit more friendly to customizing your storage, whether it is for makeup or clothing or your office, whatever the case may be. And I plan on doing an updated, not just a makeup tour, but kind of like a tour of this whole studio space sort of area. But so you can get a better idea of what I mean when I say it's just more versatile. And I've had such a good time taking my time, transitioning all of my stuff from my old makeup storage and kind of going through it, decluttering a little bit, but for the most part, I had already decluttered a good part of my collection. This was mostly just getting it into a place where I can see it all and organize it all. And what I found was that I thought I was going to have so much more room, like a bunch of empty drawers here. I thought I was only going to fill up one of these. But because I took the time to actually get individual little storage containers inspired by Desi Perkins, by the way. She uploaded her makeup storage video. And just looking visually at how she had organized everything, I thought that looks like a really good way for me to make sure I can visualize and see everything that I have to make sure it actually gets used. The trade-off there, though, is that individual products or kind of groupings of products as they have them in there tend to take up more room. So what I thought was, what initially fit in 1.5 Alex drawers is now in one whole unit of these and like a half. This, by the way, that I've been using on my brows is the Covergirl Microfine Brow Pencil in soft brown, which I rediscovered buried in the back of a drawer like I had a spare one of these. And it's one of my favorites, so this is almost brand new. So I'm back on that. Have been loving that for years and discovered a spare. The eyes I'm keeping super simple using the new Pat McGrath Utopia palette. But I have to be honest, I've been bouncing around between a lot of different eyeshadow palettes and individual products in general. Here is this beautiful lady, and I'm just going to do something super simple. I feel like anytime I've used this palette on this channel, that has been the case, and today will be no different, just because simple has really been the name of the game as of late. I'm first using, this has been my go-to crease shade right here, the soft pinky rose shade, running that all throughout my crease, but wow, this Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. I don't normally use a brush this big or this dense for my crease, and it is laying it down. My style favorites have definitely narrowed in my 8th month of pregnancy. I have been living in pregnancy leggings. Specifically, I think they are from Spanx. I put them on for the first time when the weather started like kind of cooling down, which is in Texas is like 80s. But they are these black leggings. I thought because they were from Spanx, they could be hit or miss because they might be a little bit too constricting. And right now the last thing I want is something that's like sucking me in like a sausage. But these are not that. This is not the case with these at all. They are so buttery and flexible. And because they're maternity, they come all the way up over the belly. And they were so good that I then bought 2 other pairs. So I have 3 total leggings. I don't think I'm going to try to find any maternity jeans because I likely won't get as much wear from them post-baby, whereas leggings might be a little bit more forgiving. And just the last thing I want right now is to wear denim, even if it does have a maternity band around the waist. So I've been wearing those along with some nursing tank tops, which are great, by the way, pre-baby, and from what I hear from other people's recommendations, they're going to be great post-baby. And so that's like my outfit base that I then throw a bunch of cozy cardigans that I got on. One of my favorites is from, I think it's Free People. I picked it up from Nordstrom, and I actually got it in 2 colors, a gray and like an oatmeal cream kind of shade. And I just think they're going to be so, so nice for as the weather like legitimately actually cools down for fall and winter here. And, you know, I'm just going to want to kind of be cozy around the house, but still looking and feeling cute. The other pair or brand that of leggings that I really like is from Zella. They are a workout brand, and I like not only their full-length leggings, but also their kind of 3/4 capri like leggings. Again, they're maternity leggings, so they come like all the way up over the belly, but those have been so nice and comfy. I finally had to do it. I finally had to buy new shoes. I don't want to say my feet have grown or spread permanently, although they might have, but we're not going to say that just yet. But swelling has been like my number one 3rd trimester symptom. I'm officially like, my ring on a good day will fit, but at the end of that good day, it's like it should not be on my finger. So I just have kind of stopped wearing it altogether. My feet are very puffy. And it's one thing to have to bend over to put on shoes that fit, but now trying to bend over and like wrestle with shoes that definitely don't really fit, absolutely not. So I haven't tried them yet, but I did order shoes, slip-on tennis shoes from a brand called Kizik, I think is what they're called. And they're like specifically designed, they look like a normal tennis shoe. They have a couple different styles that mimic popular like Adidas or Vans or normal walking shoes, whatever. But I guess they put a special structure in the heel that keeps it upright, so you can just step into the shoe rather than have to bend down and tie it yourself. So that's where I'm at. They're super cute though. Like luckily they look just like a pair of shoes that I wanted to replace anyway, because they were getting kind of like gross and grimy and stuff. And so, you know, I know it was an easier purchase to make because it's one of those things that I know I'm going to get good use of after the baby's here. Although in theory, my feet will shrink back. So I only bought them like I bought one in a size 10.5, normally I'm a size 10, and one in an 11, just because I think they're online only, so I wasn't able to try them on. And my shoes aren't that small, but I don't know how much bigger my feet are. So I just kind of decided to try a few different sizes, knowing that I could return those that didn't fit because they have a pretty decent return policy. I'm applying the multi-chrome from this palette on my eyes, and I'm hoping that because now I have a combination of studio lighting and natural, I have like a lot of windows over here on this side, I'm hoping that you can get a better sense for how multi-chromatic shadows look on camera. Because before, studio lighting shows multi-chrome shadows as one way, and then in natural light, that tends to be where like the really beautiful complexity of shades tends to come out. So I'm hoping, not seeing it right now in the viewfinder, but fingers crossed. In this and in future videos, you get a really good look at multi-chrome shadows, because I have a couple of new multi-chrome products that I've ordered / am currently trying, and I'm very excited about them. Probably in the next video I'll talk about those. This mascara, by the way, is Revlon's Big Bad Lash, and it is one of only 2 or 3 now that I have open, because in moving all of that makeup, you know, from my old to the new, I found some mascaras that, although I love them, have been open for quite some time. And so it's one of those that I know I opened recently, so I know it's still good and safe to use, but it's been doing good things. It's a really good volumizer and lengthener. I wouldn't say it's like top notch at curling. So if curl is your issue, you might need to curl, or you will need to curl your lashes beforehand. And I'm not sure at how well it will hold that curl, but because my main issue tends to be volume and separation, along with a little length. I don't want like short, stubby, voluminous lashes. I want like long, voluminous lashes. And I feel like this really accomplishes that well. Okay, for the face, Noble Skin Bronzing Powder. This is in the shade Dune, and one that I picked up last month in an Ulta haul, and it has definitely stuck with me, along with a couple of other bronzing products that I've been using, but this, so flattering, and I find it very hard to overdo it. It's a nice, soft, but still buildable bronzer, but again, I don't find that I build it so much to where I am too orange or the bronze slash contour is too severe. It has like a really nice, almost like a pearlescent or satiny sort of finish to it. So I find that texture is also nice and forgiving to my skin, especially in drier parts like my cheek area. I have yet to use it wet though. This is a wet dry formula, and something I mentioned in that video is that I do want to give it a try wet, but I haven't done that yet because I've just been so pleased with, you know, the results just using it dry. For blush, I've really been loving going back into the Cover FX monochromatic blush duo. This is in the shade Mojave Mauve, and the other bronzer that I've really been liking is a bronzer just like this, where you have same color but two different finishes in the same palette. And honestly, I really like mixing them together because then you get a little bit of sheen from this almost metallic side here, but it's not over the top shiny or pearlescent. So it's just like a little kiss of sheen, but with a mostly matte undercurrent, if you know what I mean. Back to Noble for that highlighter. This is their Skin Glazing Glass Finish Glow Powder. Why was that so hard to read? In the shade Privilege. And a couple of you guys, when I talked about these in that Ulta haul, I mentioned that this is supposed to be like have sort of a pink shift to it, but I really didn't see it. It comes off as more of like a light champagne to me anytime I use it. And so a lot of you mentioned to use it either wet or use it over some sort of like balmy, like a Danessa Myricks balm highlighter or a cream highlighter, and that using it over a more wet medium will really bring out the duochromatic pigments in this one. But for today, again, just gonna use it as a soft, oh, but it's so beautiful, soft sort of champagne-y glow, as opposed to really bringing out those pink undertones in it. And last for lips, I'm going back to an old favorite, a fall favorite specifically. I don't know if it's gonna go with this look, but it's a color I've been hooked on from Mented, and it is Nude La La. Such a great rich medium brown shade, and the reason it is so glossy is because I'm wearing it over my Sarah Happ The Lip Slip One Luxe Lip Balm. This is what I prep. I've mentioned this so many times before, but it is a favorite because I use it every single day. This is what I kind of condition my lips with beforehand. So if you pick up this lipstick or you're interested in it, just know it's not quite this high shine balmy sort of finish. Doesn't have that to it. It's like a true cream finish lipstick, but because I put it over this lip slip, that is what gives it this sheen, but it still retains its pigment super nicely. So this is the finished look and a little update about what has been happening around here. I'd love to hear from you guys. What's new? What new products are you using, loving as far as makeup goes, or fashion, or TV? I've been watching American Horror Story, which I have to say I didn't love the most recent season. Was it The Camp, the 1984? And so I was a little hesitant about this one, but it is not disappointing, and it's double feature. So we just started kind of the new second half of the season, and I'm loving it. And it's just in time for spooky season. I'm very, very pleased. So let me know what you guys have been enjoying lately. Don't leave anything out. Pop it down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.